Hey guys, Total Drama Zoe here. Today we are remastering one of my old top 10s back with the old voice because you guys seem to like it, so let's hope you guys still like me using it. So today we are doing the top 10 total drama characters. As my opinion has changed a lot from when I made this list a year ago, so I thought I'd remake this list with my top 10 characters. By the way, I know some of you guys will be upset that Dawn isn't on here. Deciding this was super hard, as characters often switched out and on, as the characters I love are actually by quite a narrow margin, as I will say a lot. So Dawn is at the unofficial 11 spot as of right now, as I do love her, just her lack of screen time makes it hard for me to include her on this list, so yeah, let's start. So at the number 10 spot, I have Gwen. Now, I used to rank her way higher, even in my last top 87 I did. I believe I at least had her in my top 5. But I rewatched all of the Total Drama seasons recently, and other characters kind of grew on me more than she did. So, I don't really think of her as top 5 material anymore, but I love her a lot. I love her edgy gothiness so much. Love how she was literally the main character of Total Drama Island. I adore Gwen. I love how she's nice but has her mega limits, but goes through so much character development. Going from a loner with no friends who didn't want to be there to someone with lots of friends who've literally befriended everyone. I cannot but believe they took inspo from this arc and used it for Zoe's arc, which on one hand may seem like a cheap, lazy move, but I can't complain because the way they did it with Zoe is a lot more relatable to me, but we'll get to that. But yeah, that's why Gwen is at number 10. The number 9 spot, we have Mike. Now, Mike is a hard character to place sometimes because character can be seen as offensive to people DID, but even though that's the case, I can't help but love his character. I love how his and Zoe's relationship is so pure and how they always look out for each other and never give up on each other. I love the relationship so much. And as for Mike alone, well, without Zoe, he probably would not rank this high. I can't ignore how he is such a sweet, nice guy. And it's hard not to understand and empathize with the struggle of being embarrassed of the condition, as medical conditions are often things people are ridiculed for. I love how Mike and Zoe are just a beauty within trope. I'm a sucker for that trope. That's why they're my fave ship in the show. Regardless of how he can be viewed in today's standards and how they probably should have done more research with writing his character, I will always remember him as one of my two Total Drama Revenge of the Island crushes, other than Dawn, who unfortunately doesn't make the list anymore, but that's okay. At number 8, we have my favorite male Total Drama character, which is probably gonna piss my male audience off because no, I don't love the 7 above me these because they're females. Just something about these characters in the top 7. There's something charming about them that this character doesn't give for me. But I still love him, but at number 8 we have Jeff. Now, in my first watch, I used to not really like him, but now I really like him, surprisingly. I like how he's generally super sweet and kind to everyone. Especially in RR, I love it. And I was surprised when I rewatched the series now that I didn't actually mind him coming back to win as much as I thought I would. Because I like his character so much that it didn't even matter. So, while it was still kind of upsetting and annoying that he got eliminated just to come back a couple episodes later, I was fine with it. My favorite moment is probably from Total Drama Island where he is basically teasing Courtney for liking Duncan and basically plays into fan shipping and makes it canon. And dude, we stand him for that. But that's why Jeff is at number 8. Number 7, we have the saving grace of Pocateo Island, the character who makes Pocatao Island. No, I cannot speak. Pocateo Island. The character who makes Pocateo Island somewhat watchable. I just love her. It's my girl Jasmine. Something is so endearing and charming about her. I can't help but love so much. I like how she's a wilderness survivalist. And while normally I'd like characters for their relatable qualities in the show, not really with her. I just really like how nice she is to everyone. My favorite moment of entirety of Pockettail Island is when she encourages Sammy to stand up to Amy, and after Amy's eliminated, helps Sammy hide that she's pretending to be Amy. I love Jasmine. An amazing character, an amazing team leader, an amazing girlfriend to Sean, an amazing girlfriend, an amazing person. That's why Jasmine is at number 7. At number 6, we have Lindsay. Now, for some reason, Lindsay is always hard for me to talk about why I love her, but I wrote some stuff in, so I'll try to say it. I love how she is a sweet, lovable idiot and is just so charming and hilarious. Action is my second favorite season of Total Drama exclusively because of Lindsay. Lindsay should have won Action. I like Duncan, not as much as everyone else because he's not even on this list, spoiler alert, and everyone ranks him top 5. But I do like him. I just feel like Total Drama Action was Lindsay's best season. Her arc to becoming a team leader was amazing. Her becoming a commander instead of a follower was beautiful to see. And her being Courtney, aka the villain of the season's main rival, was unexpected, but I actually loved every single minute of it. I don't know if I'd have Lindsay win a season now because I feel like Action was the season that she was at her best to win. So I'm just fine with her being left in Total Drama history as a non-winner at this point. But yeah, that's why Lindsay gets number 6. Number 5, we have somebody that might surprise you because she's never even made the top 15 characters in all my character rankings. I think the highest she's ever ranked was probably like 20th place. But after watching Redonkulous Race again, I fell in love with this character. And it might anger some of you because she's not one of the first characters you think of when thinking of amazing Total Drama characters. And even I can admit she's not particularly interesting, but at number 5 I have Carrie. I've definitely been in the predicament of Carrie was in as in demi-romantic, so I get how falling for your best friend can be difficult, and I definitely have a similar personality, can't talk today, to Carrie, not nearly as much as number 1. Unlike number 1, relating with her doesn't make her go any higher than the number 5 spot, just because she's never really had a plot of her own. If any character was to return in the reboot, I'd probably say have Carrie return without Devin, because Carrie definitely needs a spotlight to develop on her own as a character. But working with what we got, I love how she cared for Devin, and I love the best friends to lovers trope a lot. I love how mature Carrie was about it too. I just love Carrie, and as you can tell by her being in my top 5 characters, so yeah, Carrie's at number 5. Now, the top 4 ladies are always hard to divert between. I end up loving each one more for different reasons the more I rewatch Total Drama. But at number 4, I went with a curveball. She's always been up there with characters I enjoyed, but never in my top 10. Close to it, but never managed to make it in. But like Carrie, after rewatching The Redonkulous Race, I started to love this character. So much that she made top 4. But at number 4, I have Emma. I have seen this character get some hate, not nearly as much as the number 3 spot, which I won't spoil. Or even the number 1 spot definitely gets a lot of hate in my comment section, but that's okay. Some people don't like her, which I can see why. But for me, she ranks as my 4th favorite, and let's go into the reasons why. First off, I love how she had a genuine thing she wanted to win the money for. I know Gwen said she wanted to turn Camp Aqua into a graveyard, but in her ending, Camp Aqua still ended up existing for 2 more seasons to be done on it. So I think she was joking. I guess you could count Lightning's dad calling, but he didn't go into the game with that motivation, so yeah. Her needing the money for law school and the possibility of how when she lost, also losing the opportunity to go, and as she could not pay for it and having to give up on her dream, is solely why I ranked the sisters' elimination as the number 1 saddest elimination in Total Drama, which you guys took issue with Katie not being on the list. I guess I've just never really cared for Katie or Sadie that much. Like, they didn't have enough screen time for me to be overly sad. And something that those 2 characters would need for me to be sad about it. But back to Emma, I love her character development and how she went from super competitive and sometimes being outright cold to her sister by blaming her for them placing low and literally being like, if you died, it would only be sad because we would get disqualified to a scene of Total Drama Redonkulous Race, aka my favorite season of the show. I don't know if that's a cheat, but in the episode where the best friends are eliminated, she sees her sister fall down a cliff with the emu, and she runs up to her sister and hugs her, worrying about her. Now, more worried about her than losing the money, which is something you wouldn't even have seen happen with episode 1 Emma. So, that's why I love her. I love how in the exiting confessional when they got eliminated, like Emma made sure Kitty knew how proud of her as she was. That was just beautiful. Their sister bond was absolutely beautiful. I loved it so much. So that's why Emma gets number 4. Honestly, my top 10 shifts around quite a lot, with people often being shifted in and out, as you can tell. The one character that will always rank in the top 5 is Courtney. This time she ranks at number 3. Now, she's probably one of the most hated characters in the show, and to a degree, I can see why, but I actually really like her. I'm so mad she hasn't won a season, and seriously, she should have won All Stars. She's in the reboot, she needs to win. But into Courtney's character, Courtney as a character, before I watched any season with the cast other than Gen 1, Courtney was my favorite in the show. I loved her so much, and I still do. She just often switches out between the number 2, 3, 4, and 5 spot on my list. Actually, while scripting this video, I even switched her ranking quite a few times, but in the end, I ended up settling on number 3. I love how she's a goody two-shoes who has a fun side that Duncan brings out. I love how she's very competitive and determined to win at all costs. I just love her sass. I'm a girl, but she was my first female cartoon crush. I love her. If she's in the reboot, she better win. And as you could probably could have guessed, I'd say while watching my ways, her and Gwen better be the confirmed LGBTQ plus relationship that is going to be in the reboot. Now, this might surprise you, but when rewatching Miraculous Ways, I honestly thought Zoe wasn't my favorite total drama character anymore. Specifically because I enjoyed this character so much. Might surprise you because I come off as the biggest Zoe fan, but she's not my favorite character by an extremely large margin. Thought about switching characters out with her numerous times, but at number 2, I decided to place Kitty. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but the sisters are my favorite team on the Ridonkulous race. Specifically because of Kitty. I love Emma as well, obviously, she ranked number 4 in this list, but words cannot describe how much I love Kitty. Some people may say she's a blend version of Lindsay, but there is so much more to Kitty than meets the eye. I love so many things about her, I couldn't say them all or I'd be here all day. But let's just talk about her a little bit. I love how she acted as Cupid and helped form Devin and Carrie's relationship. And how she makes me laugh more than any character, because even though Zoe is the closest character to me, Kitty says some stuff I would probably say. The funniest confession on Total Drama to me is when she's texting on her phone and is like, "Dear Karma, I found somebody you seem to have missed. Please correct this at your earliest convenience," because genuinely this is something I would say and do. The most amazing part of Kitty and RR that makes me love her is when Owen and Kitty acted as wingmen to form Emma and Noah's relationship. I love them teaming up to help their friends get together with their crushes. It was so awesome to see, genuinely. So that's why Kitty gets number 2. Number 1, surprising nobody, is Zoe. I could go on all day about how she's so relatable to me, but I will just say a few reasons, as the reason she ranks number 1 is because of how much I relate to her. So we can't not talk about it. IRL, I act just like Zoe. No joke. When I first joined the TD community, she wasn't my favorite, really, until people started comparing me to her. My personality is just like hers. From my good qualities all the way to how I used to be way too trusting, though I'm working on it. While Zoe's backstory is not the same as mine, I don't usually like to go into my personal life at all. Like to save that for offline, but I think I have to tell you a bit of my life story to make you understand. But I don't 100% relate to her backstory because I do have a brother. But growing up, my childhood was really lonely. As I was homeschooled for the first few years of my life, and I desired to make some friends, as being conformed to my small little farm was not so fun. And my mother got sick, so I started doing public school exclusively because of that. So yeah, I would ride a bus an hour to school to get to the closest school, and it really didn't get much better. So basically, I wasted my time. Because my younger brother would publicly humiliate me at school, so we weren't really close back then. Actually, quite the opposite. But we get along much better now as he's grown from his childless self, and he's a lot nicer now, so we stan him. It's just, it didn't get any less lonely. This school was full of farmers, and we have had 14 people in my entire grade level. Literally, that's how many we had in my entire grade level. Not just one class, grade level was 14 people. And they all already knew each other due to me coming in only in the last few months of my first year. And not being allowed to do school activities because of my distance and it being too much stress since my mother was sick and my dad had to take care of her. And I admit, I was not very likable back then. I got severely bullied and probably deserved it, but like, it did still sting as it would anyone. I always felt so lonely because I didn't really have any friends growing up. Like, I can be kind of envious of people who had friends growing up since elementary school because I didn't have that, and that always means I feel a lot closer with friends than I do now, than they do to me. But back then, I didn't really have any. My childhood was super lonely, and all my home life factors that kept me from being a part of the school community did not really help. After my mother passed away, we moved to a small town. I still live at it today, where it actually got much better. But I have some friends, so I have some friends. I didn't meet many. I don't meet many, but I still don't meet many people due to being an incredibly small town still, so I don't really have many friends still, but I do have a few, so I'm happy with it. Still have trouble making them because I have a lot of stuff to work on, like how naive I can be sometimes. But yeah, I relate to Zoe's struggle of being so lonely as a child and not having friends. And when I'm dealing with sadness or feeling super insecure about myself and thinking about stuff, all the things I don't like about myself, Zoe is the comfort character I turn to. Knowing there's a character in media just like me makes me love myself more than I ever thought I would. And while I still struggle from being somewhat insecure, every time every time I look up, I think about myself, knowing Zoe, knowing there's a character in media just like me makes me love myself more than I ever thought more. And while I struggle from being somewhat insecure every time I look back at Zoe, every time I look back at Zoe and how she and me are alike, I feel so happy. So because Zoe has gotten me through so many struggles and given me so much happiness and love, that is why she takes the number one spot for my favorite Total Drama character ever in all of Total Drama. I know she gets a lot of hate, and I understand why. This may give some of you who have commented that you hate her and expressed your opinion on her basic consensus of why I love her. Sorry, I don't know if you guys like me getting personal like this. Writing the number one spot was emotional, and I don't know if I ever share that much about my life with you guys again. But yeah, this is my top 10 total drama characters. I'm sorry, when reading the script, I kind of spaced out a lot of it, so I kind of just didn't speak popularly. So sorry, this commentary was absolutely awful, but I'm sorry. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, you're all amazing in your own way. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!